So can it hinder a healthy life? I think a healthy life, you would kind of reassess yourself when you eat stuff, when you work out. If you try a drug, you hopefully reassess yourself and say, this is too much marijuana. Maybe I need to back off. But
you know what? This is an appropriate time to bring up something I wanted to talk about last time, and I just forgot. That stomach issue I had.
Yes.
So in that sense, yeah, I mean, I don't know 100%. To make it clear, for many years, I had a recurring stomach issue where every 3 or 4 months, I would just start puking. And I couldn't hold down any food, no water, just puking. Anything I put in me comes back up. And it was an intense fatigue and pain. I literally could do nothing but sleep and puke. I would wake up to puke and then right back down. And this would usually last 2-3 days. And for the longest time, I had no idea what it was. I mean, I still don't know for sure. But I forget that there was a name for the condition.
Yeah. I'll look it up. Go ahead, talk about it.
But there is something out there for long-term, heavy pot users. This seems to be a thing that you get this weird stomach issue. I remember reading someone that, like, it seems to help if you take a hot shower or something.
Yep.
I never tried that because I was just in no condition to get in the fucking shower. I was so wiped out. Like I said, all I could do was sleep and puke. So, I never. So I went to doctors. I went to the ER. I went to urgent care, and they never I hit a wall where, I didn't have money or insurance. So the next move would be to see a stomach specialist, which I couldn't do. So, but here's the good news. When I quit smoking pot last December, I took that 6-month break. I haven't had that stomach issue. It's been over a year now. I haven't had it. So I'm fairly convinced that I was one of those people that had that as a result of
Cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. Hyperemesis syndrome. I don't know how to say it.
Ask your doctor. If you smoke a lot of weed,
it's a lot of weed. So do you remember how much? Like, can you describe to some extent? Was it a lot, or
it was a lot? I mean, not so much by today's standards, but it was a consistent. I would smoke for sure every day, and for long periods of the day. Basically, I would very rarely smoke in the early, like in the daytime. I was more of I would go to work, and then after work, I would just smoke nonstop until I went to sleep. So 4, 5, 6, however many hours between the time I got off of work and I was able to pass out, I was just smoking steadily for several hours. So, I mean, if you want to put a quantity on it, it wasn't even that much. I think it's more about the long-term heavy use than like the actual amount you're smoking. I don't really know. But yeah, I couldn't quantify how much, because I would generally smoke over a quarter. See, I feel silly saying it because I know there's potheads out there who smoke way more than what I was smoking.
So to eat, I mean, everybody's system's probably different, and maybe yours is more sensitive, maybe.
Right. But I was easily smoking over a gram of pot every day, easily. I mean, I can make that guess. Mm-hmm. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but you're doing it every day for years and years, you're gonna end up not everybody. I had plenty of friends who smoked as much or more than I did and never had that stomach thing. So who knows what causes it? All I'm saying is, if you have if this sounds familiar to you, you smoke a lot of weed and you get this weird puking. I always just referred to it as like a stomach flu because I had no idea what else it was.
Yeah.
So if you have something similar, I don't know, look it up. Do some research. Ask your doctor about the weed.
Yep. And
puking, cannabinol, whatever it was.
Cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. So if it's if you have that problem, either try smoking a little bit less, look it up online and see if a warm shower would help you. That's what I heard from, I think, the Joe Rogan show. They said take a warm shower.
When I first heard of it was shortly after well, not shortly, but within a few months of them legalizing it recreationally in California, then I guess people just went off the rails when it became like, yeah, we can smoke like maniacs.
Yeah.
And then, sometime after the legalization, they started getting more and more ER visits of people showing up and having this, and then they finally kind of pinned down what it was. Now, all my doctor visits was before that, so I mean, I never went to a doctor after that and said, "Hey, is this what I got?"
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is when I took a 6-month break, it stopped happening. And like I said, I smoke a lot less now than I did before. So that hasn't happened to me in over a year, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Because that shit sucked. That was a negative consequence, if indeed it was linked to I'm not sure. I haven't had it diagnosed. But in my mind, I associate it now with my heavy pot use.
Yeah. How do you measure how much is too much used for any particular job? I think that goes